The strangest people on earth alive, created by magic illusion and legerdemain. Right now, watch the little man eat the fire. Here he goes, right down the hatch without a scratch. It's good to the last bite. In the old days, I don't think you could have had a sideshow on a carnival without freaks. Throughout the 1960s, 70s, up into the 80s, we had freaks in our sideshow. I had wonderful people. Emmett and Priscilla Bajana. Emmett was the alligator-skinned man. She was the monkey girl with long, silky black hair over her face. Her complexion was a greenish blue. And these were two very educated, fine people, and they were billed as the world's strangest married couple. We had Louise Capp, who was born without any arms at all and could do anything. Little Dickie Brisbane, the penguin boy, he didn't have any legs. His feet were directly connected to his hips, and on this side he had an arm, an elbow, no hand, no wrist, but one finger at the end, and on this side no arm above the elbow. And he used to play the electric organ. We had Bill Cole, was a little African-American man who looked like he had been cut off right below the waist, and in fact that was really what happened to him, because when he was a young man he was involved in a severe train wreck, and the train wheels ran over him and cut him in half. But he was very strong in the shoulders and the arms and hands because he walked naturally on his hands. And so my partner Chris framed a horizontal bar act for him, and he performed sometimes 20 shows a day on those horizontal bars without it tiring him. Emmett Blackwelder we called the Turtle Man, and Emmett was born with only stubs for arms or legs, and he used to do a juggling act with paddle balls. And oh my, there was Gladia the Frog Girl. And of course we always tried to have a giant. Over the years we had the Northwoods giant, John, can't think of his name right offhand. I had Dave Ballard with me some years till he died, the Texas giant. We had Doreen Reed, the albino giantess. Her sister, an albino girl, learned how to swallow swords. And we had Johan Pettersson, the Viking giant, who stood 8 feet 9.5 inches in height. When he spread his arms from fingertip to fingertip, it measured 109 inches over 9 feet. His fingers of his huge hands, so big he could take the ring off of his finger and pass a silver dollar through that ring. And here today you're going to see that he wears a shoe size 36 quadruple E. Why, if his feet were any bigger, he couldn't wear shoes at all. He'd have to wear the boxes they came in. Eddie Carmel, the Jewish giant, was another. And Buck Nolan, who was the tallest giant clown, and he was with us a short time. And then, of course, fat people. We had Dainty Doris, whose real name was Mary King, and she actually weighed 770 pounds. She was immense, and what a sweet girl she was. And then we had, for quite some time, several years, Tiny Hicks, the fat man. 25 years he was with us till he became an invalid, and that was Bruce Snowden. And he was our last fat man, and he was billed as Harold Huge, and weighed 712 pounds. 2003, maybe 2004, I get my years mixed up, was when Harold Huge was still with us, and right before that, because she retired in, I think, 1998, 99, was Lorette the Tattooed Lady. Now, of course, she was not a born freak, but she was covered from head to toe with beautiful tattooing, and she was the tattooed grandmother. And talking about tattooed ladies, over the years we had Artoria, Betty Broadbent, Sally Sandy, she and her husband Sandy were both completely tattooed, and they were with me quite a few years. But I would say that to have a number of freaks, 1986, that would have been the last, because the people who were with me so long, and they stayed with me for years, most of them, a few of them retired, most of them were with me till they died. In the old days, it was easy for the freaks to get jobs in sideshows, because there used to be a weekly newspaper called The Billboard. It had coin machines, records, music, all of the theater shows, and all of this in one newspaper. And so if you wanted one, you could find it on any newsstand, just about any town, big or small. It cost a quarter. And that's where we would advertise for them, or they would advertise for jobs. And then also you remember that up until the sideshows were dying out, every carnival just about that was anything, and all the circuses had a sideshow. And you played, you covered the towns. The circuses and carnivals would collectively play hundreds and hundreds of towns each year. And these people would come and see the show and want to join the show. And this is how they found us and how we found them. But today, with only one sideshow out there, there are very few of these people who find us. And although I'm sure there are a lot of them out there who would love to be in the business, because they were all ham actors, they loved to perform, and they made good money, and some of them even became wealthy, and today they are destitute, receiving a little SSI, Social Security. And anybody who'll tell you that they can live well on Social Security certainly doesn't. But today, if there's freaks out there, they can't find us, and we don't see them so easily. Whereas it used to be, I could name names, Louise Cat, the Armless Girl, Dickie Brisbane, the Penguin Boy, Pete Terhern, the Little Dwarf, was with me for 55 years, and I would go on and on. They came down the Midway, I saw the show, walked in, ended up joining the show, and were there the rest of their lives. It never became a stigma. We just ran out of them. Today, the people would love them. That's why we put the illusions in there. We sell them on the front. It's like a couple of the things I just mentioned, you know. And as far as the people are concerned, every bally is started with this line: the World of Wonders, the world's largest fairground show, where you're going to see the strangest people in the world alive, created by magic, illusion, and legerdemain. That last line, you say it very fast, because what they heard was the strangest people in the world alive. People still want to see the strange people. And believe me, we don't really satisfy them with illusions like we did in the old days with human oddities. If there are any human oddities who see this video, if you would like to be with the sideshow and travel the world and see what's in the world beside yourself, it's like being on a working vacation. It's not easy because you do a lot of shows a day, but you will find that the people around you are wonderful to work with, and we would love to have you with the show. So please look on the internet for the World of Wonders, or call us through the Sideshow World blog. Please get in touch with us. Line up, say how many. Showtime, hurry along. Now they go, now they show, now they entertain. Don't miss this big show. It's the World of Wonders. It's the world's largest fairground show.